Tonight, an update on the new City Hall.
WSU has a new regent.
And a cold case never solved in Pullman that has one family still asking why. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Jennifer Forsman.
And I'm Mackenzie Foster. Welcome to Murrow News 8. With students getting ready to leave and head off to the real world, WSU students have to start getting ready for graduation. Reporter Brianna Childress has some information on how to prepare to cross that stage.
As fall semester winds down, some students are preparing for graduation. So here's what you need to know if you are attending fall commencement. For students planning on attending the Multicultural Student Services graduation, make sure to log into OrgSync and fill out the registration form. Registration will close December 5th at 5 p.m. or when they reach a capacity of 250 people.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. If you haven't purchased a cap and gown already, you can do so at the bookie for $50, but just make sure you have it back by December 10th at 5 p.m. or you will receive a late fee. On December 7th, pick up a pronouncer card at the ticket office at Beasley Coliseum between the hours of 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. and bring it to commencement on the 8th. If you do not have a card, your name will not be announced in the ceremony. Senior pictures are a great way to document this moment in your life. Luckily, if you haven't taken any already or can afford to, there are some cheap options still available to you.
It's a 2-hour package with 30 final photos. And yeah, it's $100, which is really cheap. I have an online booking service on my website. It's tuesdayswithtaylor.com.
Congratulations to all fall graduates, and we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Brianna Childress, Murrow News 8.
Thank you, Brianna. On Tuesday, the Pullman City Council approved a zoning change that would allow the new City Hall and Recreation Center to be built on Crestview Street. The Pullman Planning Commission previously recommended the council deny rezoning that would change the single-family residential area into general commercial land. The city will use a 20-year, $10.5 million bond approved in February to take over the Encounter Ministries for the new buildings.
The University of Idaho purchased an energy-efficient water chilling unit for $285,000. The machine will cut energy consumption while keeping campus cool during the summer months. The system pumps water more efficiently around campus by using gravity to move water instead of pumping it uphill. The university will use the water cooling system between May 15th and October 15th.
Some exciting news for Cougs Rise initiative on campus. The program, which creates summer STEM learning opportunities for graduating high school seniors, received a $120,000 donation in funding. The program partners students who attend with faculty members who will expose them to hands-on experiences. Cougs Rise specifically serves first-generation or low-income students from the state of Washington.
The WSU Board of Regents welcomed a new member to their ranks. Governor Jay Inslee appointed Lisa Kahokulole Shower to the Research and Academic Affairs Committee on November 1st. Shower previously served in the Chancellor's Advisory Committee at WSU Vancouver and now takes over the position from her predecessor, Ryan Durkin. Regents hold their position from a term of 6 years with a 2-term maximum.
The African Violent Talent Showcase, hosted by the ladies of the Xi Psi chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, has the goal of bringing together all people of color in addition to the WSU community as a whole in an attempt to not only showcase but celebrate all the amazing talent and hard work that the communities encompass. This is an opportunity to uplift people of color in fellowship with one another and remind the university that people of color matter.
It's a huge way for our community members to be involved, to showcase their talents. We also offer 2 scholarship prizes for winners that have submitted essays for us. And it's a great way for people to come together, showcase talent, enjoy food, laugh, joke, see community members.
This event will showcase song, dance, spoken word, community strolling, artwork, and much more. This event is this Friday from 6 to 9 in the Chinook. As winter sets in, the common cold typically follows. When the chicken noodle soup and visit to the doctor's office fails, some turn to natural remedies. One remedy suggested by local neuropaths and herbologists is sleeping in cold, wet socks. It's a simple concept. Take a hot bath with Epsom salt, then dry off and put on a pair of wet wool socks. Cover the wet socks with dry socks and then let them do their magic. Now, I don't know if I could do that. Would you
I
ever
can't
do
even
it?
sleep with just normal socks on, so wet, soggy ones I do not think would work out for me.
I agree. When we come back, a cold case that has one WSU family still asking for help more than 40 years later.
We'll be right back.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish! In your face! In your face!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft. To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course! Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60. Now I get it.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
We want to now welcome Murrow News 8 reporter Jasmine Durachi to the desk, who has been working on this one for some time.
That's right. Jasmine visited Pasco to talk with a brother of a student who went missing many years ago.
That's right, you guys. I think this cold case is one that you'll want to see.
Of Stevens Hall remains one of the most well-known ghost stories on WSU's campus. But many don't know the story behind a senseless act of violence that took away the precious life of a woman named Joyce LePage. If you asked any of the LePage siblings about their childhood, they would tell you their upbringing resembled a picture-perfect life. They spent most of their days working together on their family's farm in Pasco. They were close, but not just because they had no one else to play with, but because they liked it that way.
It was a very wonderful time growing up. We had chores to do each day before and after school, and but otherwise we had plenty of free time also.
Because their parents relied on them to help out on the farm, they rarely took part in after-school activities, but they still made time for fun. In between weeding their crops and changing sprinkler lines, they filled their free time by swimming in irrigation canals and farm ponds, biking to their friends' houses, and sleeping under the stars. They were best friends. Best friends with a bond so close that it couldn't be described, only felt.
The four of us were fairly close in age, and so the two sisters were kind of the leader of the family, and they'd shove me around and straighten me out when I needed it. But we had a good, close-knit family, and it still is. We're just one less of us.
The year of 1971 affected that bond after the LePage family learned they would never see one of their own again. Joyce, a 21-year-old student at WSU, stayed in Pullman this summer before her senior year to take classes and move closer to earning her degree. Those close to her admired her brilliance, and more specifically, her prolific writing skills.
Joyce was going to go places in her life, and I think she could have very well ended up being an educator at some level, high school, junior high, middle school, or possibly college level, because she loved to write and was talented at it, and would have shared that with the rest of the world.
Outside of the classroom, she had an adventurous side. She took skydiving lessons, and after one last ground practice before her first solo jump in Moscow, her friends dropped her off at her apartment late one evening in July. That weekend, Joyce had plans to go make that jump in Moscow and then back home to Pasco for the water volley races. But she never showed up to either one, and her family instantly knew in their hearts that something was wrong.
Very unlike her to not go ahead and go to Moscow, do that jump, and then come on back for the water volleys, which her intention was. So she just disappeared, from communication, and that was very odd.
9 months later, a boy hiking 10 miles south of Pullman in Wawawai Canyon found her body in a ravine, wrapped in a carpet. Authorities learned the carpet came from Stevens Hall after workers reported one missing the day after people last saw Joyce.
She also, from time to time, likes to sneak into Stevens Hall and spend the night there. There's a piano in there, and she just likes kind of her own private time.
After linking the piece of missing carpet to her death, police determined someone most likely murdered her in Stevens Hall. If true, Joyce serves as the only murder victim on WSU's campus and provides the origin for this ghost story. But to Bruce, she's not just a ghost. Now, almost 50 years later, Bruce dedicates his life to his sister every day by continuing his search for the person responsible.
I think the rest of the family has dealt well with it as it is, and I'm a realist. The likelihood of this individual being caught are pretty slim, but slim doesn't stop me from looking.
Bruce wants so badly to finish the story that he's offering a reward for $100,000.
$60,000 for an arrest and an additional $40,000 for a conviction. If that would bring out someone that has information on this individual, if he's still alive, that did the murder, money well spent.
The lack of evidence, specifically DNA, as well as the passage of time, makes solving this case challenging for any investigator.
Well, I think one of the big things that stands out about this case is the fact that it's over 40 years ago now. If you go back that far in time, we don't have nearly the technologies that we have today. It's very easy to go missing back then. It's easy to go missing today, but it's very easy to go missing back then, essentially without a trace.
I guess what I would say to this individual is that if you're still alive and you're out there, I and the sheriff are gunning for you.
The story that Bruce will tell won't be that of a ghost, but will be about the sister he describes as vivacious, outgoing, friendly, talented, and fun-loving.
Just a sec. I guess my way of talking to Joyce is probably through the research that I do and just the re-examining. Her soul's still out there, and that was part of the reason I built this swing bench down on the river, was in honor of Joyce, and for other people walking the bike path, they're tired, they can sit down there and enjoy the view of the river.
Every time someone takes a moment out of their day to do so, they can breathe in a moment of happiness that Joyce so often gave to the world around her.
Still to this day, there are no leads. It's a tragic story, and I hope one day Bruce will have some answers.
That's right. We've all gotten to know Bruce a little bit, and we really do wish him the best.
He really is a great guy. When we come back, we are going to take a look at the upcoming weather.
Pencils, no more books, no more teachers, dirty looks.
School's out for summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates, so we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
The great outside. My new mom and I have a lot in common. So shiny. We both love the outdoors. That's not a flower. And she knows a lot about wildlife. A labradoodle.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
I wouldn't use this one.
He helps me with my decision making.
Never.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No?
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So we've got snow on the way, and here you are in studio. What do we have for upcoming weather?
Yeah, please do not let it snow anymore.
I'm hoping for not too much snow this winter, but these next 2 days, it's definitely in the forecast. And if we go and we look at today's weather, we're gonna see probably around 48 degrees. We're gonna see 48 degrees from earlier today. It was actually quite beautiful if you were out there. The sun was shining, blue skies were out. 36 degrees in Pullman, and if you looked at that, we had a great day throughout, and it was 48 at the high, 46 at the average. And if we look at today's map, for the statewide map, we see 49 in Seattle, 50 in Olympia, pretty cloudy. The high actually was down in Vancouver, close to that Portland border. We make our way over to Pullman. Like I said, 46 sunny, 48 up in Spokane, pretty nice. We look at our inlands to the mountains, Yakima 47, and Wenatchee was in 50. Pretty nice day today, and we're gonna be looking at some snow coming up in our forecast. If you can look over here, we have expecting 35 degrees tomorrow with a 37 and then 34 at night. It's gonna be around that temperature in the mid-30s throughout the day. And when we look at our 5-day forecast, we're going to see that it is going to be 38 tomorrow and Saturday with snow. We're going to have about a 90% chance of snow going into tomorrow and going into Saturday. Sunday, that's going to die off. And then on Monday and Tuesday, we are going to have some more snow showers, but hopefully we're looking at later in the week, it's going to get sunnier, but it is going to get colder.
Well, thank you for that weather forecast.
When we come back, we look at Mike Leach because he's back in the headlines again, but this time as a teacher.
Yeah, we'll see. Would you guys like to take Mike Leach's class?
Oh, absolutely.
We will be right back with sports, and we'll see what everyone has to say about it.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it. Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
The great outside. My new mom and I have a lot in common. So shiny. We both love the outdoors. That's not a flower. And she knows a lot about wildlife. A labradoodle.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Looking for these? You drive Buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So, Alex, there's been a lot of talk about sports lately in the news. Do you have any updates for us?
Well, that's right, Jenny. We have it all here in Poland. Basketball, football, Mike Leach. But you know what? Let's start with some men's basketball, where the WSU men's basketball team improves to 4-1 on the young season after a win over CSUN 103-94. This marks the first time since 2002 that the Cougars eclipsed 100 points in a game. True freshman CJ Ellaby led the Cougars in scoring, putting together 23 points in 31 minutes off the bench, while senior Robert Franks scored 22 points in 30 minutes on the floor. The win over CSUN caps off a perfect homestand for the Cougars, going 3-0. The Cougs now travel to Las Cruces to take on New Mexico State on Saturday. Well, now moving on to women's basketball, where the Cougars recently finished the Warner Center Marriott Thanksgiving Basketball Classic in California. After losing to CSUN in their first matchup 65-52, they finished the tournament strong with a victory over Jacksonville State, 64-51. Redshirt junior Borislava Hirostova, Bobby Buckets, had a double-double in the win, scoring 18 points and bringing down 11 rebounds. The Cougs return home tonight to take on the University of San Francisco. Well, it looks like football coach Mike Leach might get the new title, that title of professor. In a tweet yesterday, WSU head football coach Mike Leach asked the student body if they would like to see him teach a course at Washington State. He said he would want to teach his own class with the help of Senator Bumgarner. The class he proposed? Leadership lessons in insurgent warfare and football strategy. Students responded in droves, showing support for the potential class. Well, now we move on to the latest projections for the Cougars' potential bowl landing spots. There are two bowls that seem the most likely destinations for WSU. The first bowl, the Peach Bowl, would take place in Atlanta on December 28th, where they would take on LSU. The other projection has WSU in their first New Year's Six bowl game since 2003, playing UCF in the Fiesta Bowl. Well, former WSU basketball player Klay Thompson may have an early prediction for the NBA Finals. Before today's game against the Toronto Raptors, Thompson said in a press conference, quote, "They're going to be a great test for us. Who knows? It might be a preview of June. They got something really special up there in Canada right now," end quote. The Raptors currently lead the NBA with a record of 18-4 since acquiring star Kawhi Leonard from the Spurs. The real question remains, does a team exist that could beat the Warriors in a 7-game series? You know, one of the reasons I am so anxious for graduation is to just be able to spend time sitting in my good chair and watching the Seahawks and the Cougs play, especially with bowl season. I cannot wait to see my Cougs get to play potentially in a New Year's Six bowl game.
Yeah, I'm super excited. My family every year celebrates Christmas down at whatever bowl game we get. So we're super excited. When we come back, our social reporter joins us at the desk to tell us what's going on online.
We will see you right back here in a moment.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom.
It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish. In your face, in your face.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back. To finish our show tonight, we want to welcome Emma Jerome with a look at what the internet has to say today.
Thanks, guys. Well, I surfed the web earlier today, and the findings were gold. First, catch this. The Mrs. Doubtfire cast had a mini reunion for the film's 25th anniversary, and it will make your heart so happy. Look, if you're a true 90s kid just like me, you'll remember the hilarity that was Mrs. Doubtfire. They had the original premiere back in November of 1993, and this week a few members of the original cast showed up on the Today Show, and it is a nostalgia punch to the face. Featured in the reunion were Matt Lawrence, who played Chris, Lisa Jacob, who played Lydia, Maria Wilson, who played Natalie, and Pierce Brosnan, who played Stu. While the group had lots to catch up on, the conversation couldn't help but turn to honor the comedic genius of Robin Williams. I just think that's so sweet. With Christmas coming up, you might find it difficult to decide what to buy for your loved ones, especially if they need just that little bit of help. But BuzzFeed has got your back. They just released their 25 best gifts for your clumsiest friends. The list includes a wearable nail polish holder to help avoid spills and smudges, even if you're painting your nails in the car while someone else is driving. Cut-resistant gloves for knives, graters, and maybe like an extra sharp stick or something. And a good old-fashioned pop socket just so you don't shatter that $1,000 iPhone you just had to have. Up next, a North Carolina woman who got the wrong lottery ticket is celebrating that mistake tonight. The North Carolina Education Lottery said in news that Zerenia Carmichael of Goldsboro wanted to buy the Carolina Panthers lottery game ticket Sunday, but the store clerk gave her the 777 ticket instead. Carmichael said she normally would have asked for a refund to give her the correct one, but she kept it, and the results were amazing. When she began scratching the card, she thought that she'd only won $7, but she just kept going, and the more sevens she got, the more money she won. In the end, she won more than $250,000, and even after state and federal taxes, she took home over $195,000, part of which she said she will plan to get a new car. Honestly, I think $195,000 is quite more than you need to get one car, but what do you ladies think?
You know, I don't know, honestly. I don't know what I would do with a lottery ticket. The question is whether, though, do you go with the lump sum or do you do the monthly payment?
I don't know. I probably would need the monthly payments. Otherwise, I would blow it all on something.
I'm pretty patient. I would think I'd probably take the lump sum just to try and get the full month.
You know, they say take the lump sum. Take the lump sum. Well, thank you so much, Emma. Thank you for watching, everyone. Join us every weeknight at 7 and 10 p.m. for Pullman's only nightly newscast.
Have a great night, and don't forget to follow us. Follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter.
Stay golden, Pullman.